Hooray! Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Website 101 podcast. We are the podcast for people who want to learn how to build and maintain websites. You could be a developer, you could be a small business owner, you could be a software engineer, you could be a hobbyist, whatever. We're here for you. My name is Amanda Lutz. Hi, hello, how are you? With me are my co-hosts. I've got Mike Mella. Hey, Mike.
Hello.
And I have Sean Smith. Hey, Sean.
Greetings.
You guys are nerds. This is on the first and third Wednesday of every month. We do a YouTube Live that we then turn into a podcast to be played on all of your podcast streaming platforms because right now time just does not allow us to make that additional content. So we decided to take advantage of our YouTube Lives and get them out there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Before we do anything, though, I have something very funny to share.
Oh, good.
It made me laugh a lot. I've been trying to take past videos, past recordings that we've done and get little clips and use Riverside to make, magic clips to put on YouTube and stuff. And today it generated a short video. One time I described how to understand a JSON format. I don't know if you remember that, the sharing the.
Oh, she's choking for me. Is she choking for you, Sean?
Yes.
Hold on, Amanda. Just
Choking.
stand by. There you go. Okay, you're
Yeah,
back. Go for
I
it.
hear you.
Yep, sorry,
Thank
go
you.
ahead.
Sorry.
The last
Internet.
thing we heard was choking on JSON.
No, I said choking. She said she.
You said choking. Anyway, a tutorial about JSON. I decided to use AI to generate the thumbnail
Okay.
that's going to be seen on YouTube. I thought I'd use a couple of them, do a little A/B testing, see which one turns out the best. And so I thought I would use ChatGPT, and I thought that I would use Google Gemini, because why not? And the only prompt that I gave was, I've created a YouTube video titled, Understanding JSON Format. Can you make a thumbnail? This is what Google Gemini gave me.
It's pretty good.
What makes you think I would want an Indian dude
Yeah.
as part of the image?
That's
like
not a
that-
stereotype.
That's such, yeah.
Oh, but my comment about it being pretty good is like it looks like every other
Yeah.
YouTube thumbnail that I've seen for years, not just
Because-
AI-generated ones.
Because here is the ChatGPT option, which
Okay.
is basically the same. And of course it remade it without the stereotype. But yeah, like it's so similar, it's so generic. I can absolutely see how people are getting very angry about AI just creating this soulless, generic art that does nothing.
Yep.
Well, it can't be creative. It can only like take stuff that other people did and make and remake it. It can't make something entirely new, right?
Absolutely true. I'm seeing more and more that, AI is just a fancy predictive text, which I'm agreeing with more and more. But I laughed. I had a good belly laugh when I saw that.
Actually, yeah, when you said fancy predictive text, it really makes me think that AI is a misnomer because it's not intelligent.
Yeah.
It's predictive. It can understand prompts, but it can't create anything brand new.
Well, I don't know if I'd put it that way, but it's not understanding in the same way that humans are understanding. That's for sure.
I heard a very interesting analogy explaining AI. That pretend that you've got a toddler sitting in a room all by itself. It has no interaction with anything, but it is able to absorb information at a tremendous rate. And suddenly, through a slot in the wall, you start sending in little scribbles. just little scribbles. And this scribble means this word and that scribble means that word. And eventually it's going to start to learn the context and what the scribbles mean. And eventually it will start to be able to put those together. But again, based on what it's already learned, because it is predictive text and it can't process new thoughts and ideas and imagery on its own.
I heard a similar, it's probably the same analogy, I guess, but the way I heard it was there's a person, an adult, in a room, and there's a slot on the wall, and papers come through with a squiggle on them. And there's a chart on the wall that says, when you get this squiggle, pick up this other one off the ground and put it back, feed it back. And in some cases, if you see this squiggle, you can either respond with this squiggle or this other squiggle. And the person has memorized the chart. So now a squiggle comes in, he goes, this one, put it back in. And it turns out it's not squiggles, it's Chinese characters. And he effectively has learned to speak Chinese with whoever's on the other side, but he has no idea what he's saying. Sometimes someone puts a thing that says, how are you? And he can say, I've been better, or he can say, I'm good, depending on which one he responds with, but he doesn't know what they're saying. He just knows that that's the correct response. And I think that's a cool way I like to look at it, where it knows what to say back to you, but it doesn't have any idea what the fuck you're talking about.
And in fact, that is the rest of the analogy that I heard as soon as you started saying it. I remembered, yes, that was the rest of it. We must have been together at the same place at the same time.
Yeah.
When we
I have seen it.
Heard that.
For a few years. Yeah, it's been online. I think it's a good way to look at it, because it's amazing how much it can trick you into thinking it knows. Like all this AI psychosis stuff people are engaging in, where it's like, oh, it's my therapist now. It understands me really well. No, it doesn't.
It's my new boyfriend. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Could you imagine getting emotionally attached to your computer?
I mean, no.
Well, people who are emotionally attached to their real dolls, people who are emotionally attached to other sex workers that they feel they've developed an actual relationship with them because they keep forgetting that I'm paying this person money. OnlyFans, strippers, phone lines.
Porn.
It's been happening for.
Yeah, but those are real people, even though it's a false attachment because, like you said, you're paying for it. But this is a computer, which you are also paying for.
Yeah. I bet in some cases they're not even real people. They're just. I think, in fact, I know they are because I've seen.
They're bots now.
Bots, and I've seen podcasts where they're clearly just bots that they've trained to act like an OnlyFans person that responds, oh yeah, whatever. I don't know what it says. I've never done that shit, but anyway, honestly, I've never.
Nice backtrack. I don't know what they say.
Hey, don't ask me.
No idea.
Anyway, I think it's hilarious that getting back to the JSON thing you did, it thought, you're doing JSON development? You can't possibly be a woman. So I'm going to put this guy, and he's probably Indian as well. So,
I thought that was, yeah.
Yeah. Have you guys heard about this HTML in Canvas thing that's going on now?
Heard of, but haven't looked into it. I saw a couple headlines. I think that the Syntax FM podcast talked about it.
Yeah, right.
And,
they did.
And then I saw a couple of YouTube headlines, but I haven't really looked into it. Just that it's supposed to be amazing.
Yeah, so just the general gist here, and I don't understand it all that well, but there's an element in HTML called Canvas, which lets you put into a page a bunch of JavaScript that does animate stuff, animations, and that's typically, I think, what they use it for, like complex stuff on a web page that's beyond just markup. Well, there's a new spec that's coming out. It now has, you can enable a flag in Chrome and some other browsers to make it work, but it doesn't by default yet, but it will soon. And that is putting HTML inside the Canvas element, which gives you access to both markup and all these crazy graphics and stuff. So I'm going to share something real quick that I've seen some examples of this. This is Gary Simon. this was shared to us by our friend Kevin Nicholson recently. And I'm not going to play the video with sound or anything, but you can see kind of an idea of, of what it does. I don't know if you can see this stuff on the left. When his cursor moves over this form, it kind of gets all watery, right? But that's an actual
Awesome and
form
awful.
you can type in. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly where I was headed. Every time I see one of these demos, I go, man, that's awesome. It looks so cool. I will never use that in a website because I build websites that are, usable and accessible and all that stuff.
Yeah,
Although it is
I
accessible.
wonder if they're
in sense.
just this Gary and these other developers that are previewing this. I'm wondering if they're just doing the most wild use cases they can find, and that there's something else that you could do in there that's actually really practical and useful in the real world. Like
Right.
he just showed one where it was like a frosted over, like a window in winter. I like that. Kind of like,
But I mean,
like there it is again. I could see that being used to like for something, but that whole watery one, like that was just, it was cool, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he even says in this example right here, he says, this is terrible usability, that you're obscuring the form elements with this frosted thing. It's stupid, but he acknowledges that it's not really for that. It's for more fun stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but remember for a minute and a half when every single website had to have parallax?
Yeah.
And everybody got over that so quickly, thank God. Like this to me just feels like, a different flavor of the same dessert.
Yeah, they got over it in a sense, although if you're using WordPress, it's in every single fucking theme that you can possibly get from what I've seen. But anyway, I found some examples here. I just want to run through them real quick, just to show you and the viewer and the listener, well, sorry, listener, but check it out on YouTube, what this kind of thing will be able to do. This is some demos that I found online. I've enabled the flag in my Chrome browser here. I don't know if this is going to come through very well, but if I click enter, like I'm moving my mouse around, right? That's what's causing me to turn in this room. This is actual HTML that we're looking at.
It's back to Flash.
Yeah, it is, eh? It's like 3D stuff, right? I don't know. Again, I have no idea where you would use this, but someone will make a cool game or something with it, right?
I could see games. I could actually see other sort of like demo uses for it, like where you're presenting a demo of something.
Yeah.
Well, I've been working on a site that does a lot of displaying of statistics to the end user. And with that, I'm using canvas.js. No, charts.js. And it uses the canvas tag to create these charts. And so you can, with the options, you can specify the values on the X and the Y axis and what kind of chart you want it to be, line, bar, donut, etc., whatever. But you can also add some animations so that it's not just the line that you see, it actually grows across. And there are ways to add more data to it. And so it does little animations and stuff. So this seems like kind of an extension going further than that.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. And I have also used Chart.js. It's been a few years, but I've done that as well.
Yeah, so here's another one. If I can blow this up. See, when I mouse over it, look at that. It's like, I don't know, bubbly magnifying glass kind of stuff. But I can select this text because it's actual HTML. Isn't that weird? Again, as we keep saying, why would you use this? Certainly not in a form type thing, but anyway, it looks cool. That's for sure, right?
Yep.
Here's one here, which is like a page curl. You can grab the page and turn the page.
Well, I
one's
could
neat.
see that one being used as a book reading simulator.
Yeah, although I've seen this effect achieved in other ways. Usually it's a little thing in the corner that you flip or whatever. I've seen that used in, I don't know how that was implemented, but years ago. And I remember thinking it's a little gimmicky, and I'm not sure.
Well,
I'd be-
Can
there's
you-
a JavaScript
can you
called Flipbook JavaScript or JS, I believe, that does that.
Can you select the text on that page?
Uh,
Because it's
no.
just HTML?
Well, that's the point, but it's the whole thing is a clickable, my cursor's a hand. So in this case, no. But it could be just, maybe it's the way that it's been implemented. I don't know.
Yeah, I wonder, the one with the form. which is like not necessarily animating the whole page, but just like putting stuff in behind it. I wonder if
Right.
you can like go in and select the labels and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this one, yeah, this doesn't have, I don't know if these buttons would be clickable or whatever. And then there's this one, when I click on it, watch what happens. Wow, cool. And now it's gone. I don't know. See there, I can select the text.
I missed that. I'll take your word for it. Oh, there you go.
See, it's selectable, and then it's
That's cool.
it's like it's a way to super annoy someone. They're trying to select it, and the whole thing disintegrates.
Yeah, because as soon as you click it, it starts the transition to that.
Yeah.
That thing there, so you don't have enough time to actually select the
Yeah.
text.
Well, but that could be a cool effect for like images. So like here are 4 options, and click to get rid of the one that you don't want, and then it has it kind of like fade away,
Right.
and the other, like, I mean, there could be like cool applications, but again, it's like I feel like I'm
Thinking about
stretching.
accessibility.
Yeah.
There should be a way to like disable all of that with prefers reduced motion or whatever other accessibility flag is relevant.
Well, so
Yeah.
that's, I guess, another question. Mike, you said that you had to turn something on in Chrome. So what do those pages look like if it's not turned on?
Oh, that's a good. Oh, I know what they look like because I checked it out at first. It says there's like a notice that says you need to have this flag turned on to see this. Like they've replaced it with a placeholder thing.
Yeah.
So, but in the case, yeah, when the thing is live and people can actually do it without turning on the flag, that's a good question. What would happen if someone went and disabled it? Would it show the form without it, or would it just the whole thing break or whatever?
And also, what about people who are using keyboard to navigate or another? I forget the voice
Screen readers.
activated
Yeah.
browser for people with seeing issues. There's got to be accessibility rules that work within it for it to actually be valid HTML.
Yeah. I think you're right, Amanda. It's going to turn into like this sort of, flash parallax, whatever example you want to use, of just people going crazy implementing all this stuff, which bodes well
Well-
for me because a lot of my clients end up like they often say, we don't want all this crazy flashy
Yeah.
stuff. And that's sort of my style when I design, is like more of a, minimalist kind of clean thing.
Yeah. Well, and I'm also wondering about SEO.
Yeah. Yeah, and there'll be a lot of, like, imagine the code. In fact, he showed, what's his name, the guy that was in the Twitter thing. He showed the code that was produced, and he used Claude. He admitted he used Claude to produce some of those demos. And it was like thousands of lines of code to make this thing happen because there's all these canvas elements in there. And, I don't know.
That could have just
Yeah.
been Claude too, though.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe he's just going a little crazy. Anyway, it was cool. It's cool to see where it could go. Maybe someone will come up with a good idea to use it.
Well, I'm interested to see it. I think just based on that quick little demo, there's issues with it, but there's also a lot of potential. And I'm sure somebody smarter than all of us is going to come up with like stuff that we'll end up wanting to use.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Oh, not so much. You don't think so?
I don't think so. Again, it's like it's the parallax. It's like having a video background. It's like having all of these other carousels. It's like all of the other fads that have come and gone, and it's like,
Yeah, could be.
Interesting.
Speaking of Claude Code, did you guys? I don't know if you heard this story. I heard this on a podcast, the Verb, something like that. Anyway, the guy said he used Claude Code to build an app like you did, Sean. And
Right.
viewers and listeners, check our show notes. I guess we'll put a link to it where he demoed his photography app that he made, which is really cool. So this guy did something like that. He built an app. I don't know what tools he used to do it beyond Claude Code, but something. And he said that at the end of it, Claude Code builds the app on it was building it on some server somewhere, like that's internal to Anthropic's ecosystem. That's how he was doing it.
Yeah.
And he said, okay, Claude, give me a link to my app so that I can install it on my phone. It said, here you go. And he went on his phone, opened the link, installed the app, and it was somebody else's app. It had given him a link to a different app. Isn't that amazing? He was like, what the fuck is this? This isn't what I built. It was like some accounting thing or whatever. And then, of course, he was talking about it as like, this is a huge, like, security problem
issue.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
So he reached out to Anthropic because he's, I'm forgetting I'll put in the show notes what the podcast was, but, he's a well-known guy. And he reached out and he was like, what is going on here? And they were like, oh, yeah, sorry. Sometimes that happens. We'll apologize. Here's your real link. And they kind of like really downplayed it, I think. Anyway, that's the story.
Jeez.
That's insane. What if there's like a bunch of personal private information, or or if the person decides to like I forget the right word, but basically unzip the app and finds all their secret API keys and shit in there. Like, it was built by AI. You don't know how well it's built or what kind of shit is being shared.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Or what
just
if
insane.
the other guy's app was full of some kind of malware or something? Like, you could put anything in there and just hope someone else would download it.
Yeah, what if it was full of illegal content, and all of a sudden now you have this illegal content on your phone?
Yeah.
You're going to jail, buddy.
Anyway, wild story. Yeah. I couldn't believe that. That was a few weeks ago I heard that.
That is crazy.
Yeah. So what else is going on, everybody?
Hey, unrelated to podcast or tech stuff, I just recently switched my internet service provider, and now I have to package up the equipment from Bell and take it to Purelator and send it. I don't like this. You're not allowed to just drop it off at a store anymore. I've seen too many stories. I don't trust it. Because if they don't get it or it comes damaged, they blame me. But I don't have a choice except to send it by Purelator. I don't think this should be allowed. I think they should be required to accept equipment drop-offs in store. I don't know why
I'm
this has
shocked
been
that they
removed.
don't. I've never
Rogers
heard that.
doesn't do it either. Like all of them, they stopped. They no longer take it, and it makes me angry. I'm not happy about it because
So
they can just say, oh, your equipment arrived, it was damaged, and then bill me whatever they want for it, and I have no proof other than, hey, I put it in, I dropped it off, I got. Like, how do I know that some guy in their warehouse didn't kick the box around like it was a soccer ball? Like, I don't know. It's really unfair to consumers. I mean, I've seen this stuff, reports of this on Reddit. Now that I'm leaving Bell and I have to do it, I'm really not happy about it.
Well, I was going to say, if you're leaving Bell, you're not even a customer anymore. Why don't you just say, look, you want your stuff, come and get it. It's at my house. Send
Because
someone
then
over here to get it.
they'll just charge you for unreturned equipment.
Yeah. Don't pay that bill.
Yeah, and then it goes on my credit report, and I get dinged. Like they own you. This is the. There's words that I cannot say on the podcast.
Yeah. Well, and that seems to be adding, like, that's just another example of the, what do they call it? Inshitification that's happening with everything. I saw a video, somebody was looking for an apartment in Los Angeles, and they found one that was like medium. It was like one bedroom, $2,500. It didn't include utilities, didn't include parking, didn't include this, didn't include that. But then also at the very bottom of the listing, almost in small print, in order to access your unit, you have to pay a monthly subscription for the key fob. And it's like, what kind of bullshit is that?
See, some of this stuff sounds like they can't
There's a
legally
total
do that.
lack of consumer protection and overreach by corporations. And I don't mean small businesses. I'm talking like mega companies like Bell and Rogers and Amazon and you any of these global players. Big overreach. Consumers are getting screwed, and there's nothing we can do.
But you're right. But it also seems like some of these like smaller companies, like the rental agency, is also trying to get in on the game.
Oh yeah, because they've seen that there's no repercussions.
Yeah.
The only repercussion is somebody says, I don't want to rent with you. But in a market like LA where it's already oversaturated, okay, you don't want to rent with me? Fine.
Yeah,
Well,
somebody will.
Somebody will want it. And they'll pay that overpriced fee. Just like, we got a terrible rental market in Toronto. Probably have similar issues here.
Well, but I mean, and think about all of the other stories that you've heard of where, you buy a new luxury car, fantastic, but then you have to pay for the subscription to get heated seats. Like,
Yeah.
fuck all the
Something
way
I
off.
saw on Reddit just this morning. Woman bought a HP printer, and HP would not let her use it until she paid the ink subscription. Even
Yep.
though she had ink remaining, she was not allowed to use it anymore.
Yep.
How do you prevent someone from using a printer that they
Because
bought?
they've got a little software thing that calls home, and it has to say, yes, you have an active subscription. It doesn't matter if your ink ran out or not. So
There's
More
a
swearing
there's a fancy bed that will like do heating and cooling and this side and that side and zones and whatever. And of course, there's a phone app that you can control it. And when it was during the last year and like everything went down. Remember when GitHub was down and just everything was down. I think it was because of Cloudflare maybe. Anyway, the API endpoint that this bed would connect to do its controlling, that server was also down. But the bed's default function, if it can't connect to the server, is to go upright so that nobody can use the bed unless the user is paying the monthly subscription to get all of the heating, incline, knee support, all of that.
That is awesome. I'd love to see the moment at 2 a.m. when that person's thing ran out and just what the hell?
So back to my rant on Bell. I would love to be living in the EU with all their consumer protections right now, because I'm pretty sure Bell would not be allowed to force me to do that, or they wouldn't be able to like have this random bullshit of saying, oh, it came in damaged, so we're going to charge you $8,000. I know it's not $8,000, but it's some exorbitant amount.
Well, I think this was one of Cory Doctorow who coined the phrase "enshittification." That's his big counterpoint. He says, like, especially in light of the tariffs that the states are doing to Canada and other countries, we should just not respect any, intellectual property of these companies. So, like, let people jailbreak their phones, their printers, their cars, and not have to pay, Tesla or any of these organizations all this stuff. That's his argument. I think it's a
Right to
little naive, to be
repair.
honest, but.
Right to repair
Yeah,
is
right
another
to
big
repair.
thing.
European
Yeah.
Union has that. They're also, as of 2027, I believe, forcing all cell phones to have user replaceable batteries. Now, I remember when all phones came like that, and then they removed it for waterproofness, but that's also a bullshit excuse, because there's lots of other waterproof devices that can replace the batteries by users. So I'm looking forward to that, because this will be my last phone that I own right now without a replaceable battery, because that's going to come to North America within a year of it hitting the EU.
I mean, it'll be
Manufacturers
the same
are not gonna
phones anyway.
have different markets. Yeah.
Yeah, you won't
Yeah.
need the law. You just have they're not going to make two different kinds of phones, one with a battery. You can replace
But
them.
RAM is just going to get more and more and more expensive. So you can replace the battery, but you can't afford any memory. But
That's right.
Yeah. I want to
Damned
live
if
in
you
the
do,
EU.
damned if
I
you
want to be
don't.
European.
I want to be European. Wow. All right. Well, on that happy note, we've been complaining a lot today. Holy moly. More than even usual, maybe.
yeah.
But we had a really fascinating beginning with the Canvas stuff.
Oh, good. I'm glad it was. Well, listen, listener, viewer, check us out every first and third Wednesday of the month, 11:30 a.m. Eastern time on YouTube, or subscribe to us in your podcast feed, or both, because sometimes we have other podcasts that show up in that feed that aren't on the YouTubes. So thank you for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.
Later, everybody.
There we go. Couldn't get the music to play, but now it's playing. Bye.